If it looks like I'm just running to do this video, I am because there's something really important I wanted to talk about. So I'll just jump right in. Yesterday was Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day, and there were there was a parade in Jerusalem, um, and there's something that happened. All of a sudden, the media and everyone is calling it a Flag Day March. I'm sorry, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was never called a Flag Day March. It was called a Jerusalem Day March. It was something all of Israel got together. And the fact that the media is complicit in this and is driving this agenda drives me crazy. It's not right. 3 years ago, it wasn't a Flag Day March. I'll tell you what happened. What happened was 2 years ago, the day before Jerusalem Day, there was a rocket attack that targeted Jerusalem. So the government said, we'll put it off for a month. So a month later, this thing that was a national holiday that everyone took part in, all of a sudden was presented as a, a flag day. Nationalist subclause, white nationalists march through Jerusalem. And it was extremist and incitement. It was never extremist and incitement. It was always Jerusalem Day, something that every Jew loved. Religious, secular, right, left, we all loved Jerusalem Day. So the fact that now it's presented as a Jerusalem Day march is really insidious. And what is it being presented as? And the thing is, um, there's a point at which evil people don't want to hide their evil actions. They actually want to brag. They're dying to come right out and say, yes, I sacrificed that child to Baal. Here, they want to say, yes, we're guilty of this. What are they guilty of? They are denying the 1967 victory that reunited the Jews with their eternal capital, where we one day will build the third temple, as it is written in the prophecies and as it's written in the Bible. They want to deny that, and they're proud of it. There is no Flag Day March. It doesn't exist. Anyone who told you that, anyone who says Flag Day March in Jerusalem, they're lying to you. They are just straight up giving you a lie, and they expect you to accept it. It is not a Flag Day March. It was never a Flag Day March. It is Jerusalem Day, Yom Yerushalayim. Now, speaking to the Jews, unfortunately, I know that there are left wing Jews who are actually, yes, how dare you march through the city? We won the war. They wanted to wipe us out. It's just a typical Jewish holiday. They wanted to kill us. They couldn't. We won. Let's eat. It's another Jewish holiday. For Christians, take heed. They're also anti Christian. They want to separate Jews from Jerusalem, and they want to say that the temples never existed, and that anyone who says that someone once walked in the temple, they're lying. They are denying Jesus. They are denying the Jewish temples. They're denying 1967. I was really impressed. Chris Mitchell, God bless him. He's an amazing man. I love him. He's what we call in Hebrew a Mitch. He's the total gentleman, very modest. I have no words to describe how wonderful I think he is. Chris Mitchell once gifted me a CD that his organization made about this 1967 Six-Day War, especially focusing on the victory in Jerusalem. There was an awakening amongst Jews and Christians to the Six Day War. It was a clear and obvious miracle. Even non religious secular Israelis were dancing at the kotel, were thrilled. So I was really touched. Um, about a month ago, there was a tragedy where Lucy D and her two daughters were murdered in the most horrific manner. And now you have CNN claiming that they died in a shootout crossfire. I'm sorry, you have to wait at least a couple months before you change the story. I remember what happened. They weren't killed in a crossfire. But Rabbi Leo D, God bless him, he's an amazing, remarkable man. What was his reaction? He did not strike out in hate. He said, I want people to do me a favor, to show their love for Israel, just post that picture of themselves to social media with an Israeli flag. Israel is a modern miracle. It's the fulfillment of prophecies. I know a lot of Christians who believe that, who know that, and I feel so unworthy. I mean, who am I to have God come down and take me out of Egypt? Who am I to have God bring me back from the exile? Jews have been in exile for 2,000 years. What did I do to deserve that? Nothing. But God brought me back from exile. God worked miracles to reunite the Jewish people with Jerusalem. It is not a flag day. Any idiot can sew a flag. Any idiot can take a piece of cloth and paint a rainbow on it and say his is truth. I love the Israeli flag, but that's not it. It is not a Flag Day march. It is a Jerusalem Day march. It was never a Flag Day. I don't know where this came from, and I do have a memory that spans back 3 years. Thank God. And it was never Flag Day. If I'm wrong, if I misremember, please, in the comments, tell me. If I'm right, also, please, in the comments, tell me. Because that is our proof of God's actions. We are the physical witnesses, the witnesses in this world of God's glory. God didn't create a flag. God reunited us with Jerusalem, and that's the prophecy. And they're trying their hardest to deny the prophecy. There's the story of the Emperor's New Clothes, which everyone knows, and if you don't, Google it. Okay, but in the end of the story, the king, afraid of being called a fool, walks out into public in his underwear. And everyone in the town, everyone in the city, afraid of being called a fool, says, oh, look at the beautiful clothes, look at the beautiful clothes. And in Grimm's fairy tales, what happens is a little boy, and in his innocence, he looks up and says, why is the king in his underwear? And everyone's like, oh, he's right. And the king ran back in shame. But that's not human nature. What really happens, and unfortunately, social media and the internet have emphasized this, is if you call them in the lie, when an evil person is caught in a sin and caught in a lie, he doesn't wake up and say, oh, the little boy was right. In the real life story of the Emperor's New Clothes, the townspeople turn on the little boy and kill him. How dare he tell the truth? He's different than us. I'm that little boy. I remember that it was not Flag Day. I remember Jerusalem Day. I remember walking around Jerusalem all night long. The Arabs stayed home. Why? Not their holiday. Fair enough. But now the world is telling Jews, how dare you walk through the city of Jerusalem? Yeah, right. How dare you live in the city of Jerusalem? Yeah, right. How dare you pray in Jerusalem? And they say that I'm the racist. I have a rule, I'm not going to curse on these videos. Boy, do I want to. That's racism. That is the step before Holocaust. That's the step before the world saying, oh no, not only are we with Gaza, we're going to provide them with rockets. It won't just be Iran. We're going to provide them with rockets because that's the right thing to do. Because Israel is unfair. They're actually fighting against rockets being fired at them. The world has slipped into a place where it is a moral imperative to be prejudiced against Jews. Keep in mind, they're not going to stop there because it's really against God and it's really against the Bible. Not a flag day. Jews have the right to walk through Jerusalem. We have the right to exist. That's about as much as I want to bother you guys. Have a blessedly wonderful Sabbath. Be blessed, y'all.